welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing the square for the Baby Dragon Cafe. So this is a brand new series that I found on Amazon. At the moment there are 3 planned books and it's by I want to say Qureshi. I'm hoping that I've pronounced that right. So without further ado, I will start crocheting the square and taking into account the colours on the cover, out of which the cover should be to the left hand side of the screen. So, the Baby Dragon Cafe. I was really excited about this because I like romances. It was supposedly cozy, and I love things that have dragons in them. I will be quite easily led if something has a dragon in it. So, the premise of this book is that in this town there is a lady called Saphira, and Saphira runs the Dragon Cafe in town. It's the only Dragon Cafe, but it's a place where people that live there can bring their dragons, they can have a cup of tea and a bit of cake, and the dragons can play, they can learn to socialise, they can... Yeah, there's lots of space for them to run around. And this was a... So this was something that she'd been looking into running, and she used to live with her mother, who'd passed away, and recently, and then she used the money to start up the Dragon Cafe. So Saphira meets Aidan, who is a gardener who has recently got a baby dragon called Sparky. He's quite quiet at the beginning. He's sort of a bit cagey as to why, to the dragon. He's not particularly nice to Sparky either, which is a real shame. And I think Saphira really wants a dragon or access to a dragon. So I think she's emotionally set on Sparky to begin with. And Aidan's a bit of an arse, so he kind of just comes with Sparky. So the idea is that Saphira can help out Aidan by training Sparky. I mean, to be honest, Aidan doesn't really want Sparky to be trained, and that becomes more apparent as the book goes on. But he doesn't show up, he doesn't, he drops off Sparky, but he doesn't actually stay in the beginning. And he has no idea how to train. And, he decides that she can help him. So he pays her to train the dragon, as it were. So the book carries on. She continues training the dragon. She carries on running the cafe. Obviously, it can be a little bit haphazard because dragons obviously breathe fire, so it does get quite awkward on that front. But then we start to find out a little bit more about Aidan, and his story starts to open up a little bit. So his family are quite well renowned in dragon training, but they are part of an illegal dragon. I think it's a training program. It's been a little while since I've read it, but they're in something of a little bit nasty. And his brother died in a dragon race. So basically, he's not got his brother, and his brother gave him an egg. And the idea is that if the egg didn't hatch, then the egg will just stay an egg. But if the egg hatched, you would then need to get the dragon ready, train it so that it can then continue its livelihood. So it turns out that somebody broke the egg for him, and out hatches Sparky. Sparky is absolutely adorable. He's almost like a dragon version of a puppy, which he is. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. So obviously, as Saphira carries on training Sparky, they get further and further in. They get closer and closer to the point where when they have to take him to be assessed, they have to pretend they're married so that she can go with him, because the rules are very, very tight. But yeah, so, and it's all sort of, that's a really small version of what it actually is, but it's all the twists and turns along the way and getting everything organised, and and how and it goes into a little bit of Saphira's past, and Aidan's past obviously comes up. But it was a really interesting read. I went into it thinking it was going to be really cozy, and it was. And it was romantic, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. So, and to be honest, I enjoyed it for what it is supposed to be. I didn't expect something not amazing, that doesn't sound right, but I wasn't expecting something literary, and I wanted something cozy, romantic, and something that I was clearly just going to have a good time with, and I did. It's not very spicy, which in a way is nice, because it's nice just sometimes to see the actual romance, but yeah, it wasn't really a spicy book, and it was just cozy, and it was just lovely, and it was just romantic, and they're the types of characters that you fall in love with because you want. Well, you don't fall in love with Aiden to begin with because he is an arse, but Saphira, you kind of want her to do well. You kind of want her to have a dragon, but he obviously can't give up the dragon. He doesn't want to give up the dragon because it's a legacy from his brother, but he also doesn't want to have to do dragon racing either. So it's a really hard place for Aiden to be in. And I think it's nice when he finds a friend and he starts to soften a little bit, because I do think that that makes all the difference. But yeah, so there's another 2 books in the series. I have already pre-ordered them on Amazon because they're just cozy and lovely, and I had a good time. And at the moment, that's all that matters. But yeah, so if you like what you see, or you want to continue following my journey as I crochet my book blanket, which encompasses all the book covers of the books that I've read this year using my yarn stash. The idea is that I don't buy any new yarn, I just use what I've got, which at the moment is going quite well. But if you like what you see, then please like, subscribe, do the YouTubey things. And, if you've got any comments of books that I might enjoy, then please pop them in the comments below. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care. Bye.